Ready. Okay. We are back. I told y'all I had a surprise for y'all, so we are about to reveal the surprise. I want y'all to meet my new close knit family, the Fab Four.
Hi, are we on now?
Yes. Say hey to Maddie D, Ms.Jay, and of course we're bringing back the Remnant.
Hello. Hello.
And y'all, I have questions. I got questions on paper. So we're just going to introduce ourselves just a little, and then y'all know we get out the boat and everybody be swimming. We'll get out the boat later. Because we all end up out the boat. So one by one, we're going to start with Miss Joyce. What brought you to this point in this information? Like, how did you get here?
How did I get here? 2 Caucasian friends got me on this road.
Your story, really?
For real.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right. Madison.
You don't know who you are. You know the Bible. You teach it. You preach it well. But you don't know who you are. If you really knew who you are, you really know how to preach and teach that Bible correctly.
Wow.
Their words on this path ever since.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And how long were you in ministry?
Oh my God. Long time.
Right.
Long time. I've been in the church 30 years, but preaching and teaching the gospel 20 years.
Wow.
And you heard what I said, the gospel.
Right. right. Y'all, Miss Joyce reached out and we started out studying the book. So she is like the wisdom of the Fab Four because she knows this information, our book, the Bible. She knows it so well. She is able to break down the stories sometimes that you wouldn't think of just from knowing it or whatever. So she triggers thought. And I'm very thankful that you reached out. And we're gonna ask Madison the same thing. What brought you to this point in this information?
I don't know. I guess it was just a gradual process. Like, I remember when I first started, I was in high school, and I wouldn't even say that was when I first started, but like, it started like with a speck. Okay, I was living most of my life as a child, like up to like middle school and like freshman year of high school. I lived most of my life literally oblivious to everything that was going on. Like, I was just dead. Like, I didn't know. It was in freshman year. I had a very spiritual friend, and she told me something like demons use, be careful what you watch because demons can be transmitted through the TV. And I was like, demons? Because I had heard of demons, but I was like, those don't exist. And I said that, when I said that, it was like kind of like I said it out of fear, like those better not exist.
Right.
And I just remember just pondering on it, like, why would she say that? Like, are demons really real? And that like was a spark. And then after that, I don't know, I remember it was a gradual process. I wasn't like really diligent in the truth until like junior year when I found out about like the Hebrew Israelite camps and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an Israelite, blah, blah. And then from that, I got out of that trap. And I don't want to mention the dude I got trapped in next because he's just, I don't want people to like search him up or anything. But I got caught in that trap. And like these guys believed in multiple wives and all kind of stuff because, the Bible talks about Abraham and Jacob having multiple wives and stuff like that. Got out of that trap and I found Lex Will. And I don't want to say too much on that either, and then I found Yisrael's Redemption, and that's kind of like who I'm still on right now because I don't know, like I don't see something different and new. Like she's talking about a key to unlock. I don't know, a key to transform you or to return you back to who you are, like the language and stuff like that. Like what she's talking is the truth that I've learned of, but like, I don't know. It's like an accumulation of everything I've learned she's talking about, but then she's also talking about a different perspective. And I just gotta say that this is all a gradual process, and like I'm still learning. I'm probably gonna be learning forever, like, because it's like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and it's been very humbling. That's actually why I left YouTube for a bit, because I was realizing what I was putting out wasn't right. Like I'd learn more and be like, oh shoot, like I thought the earth was flat, but it may not be flat. It's probably a different shape. And different things like that. So I don't know, I'm still learning now, and now I'm on the health tip. You know, I'm really in this you know, nutrients kind of thing and body, because that's one of the main ways they're killing you with you know, your food. It's a slow, gradual process. Like my mom would say, we ain't dead now. What are you talking about? You're not dead. You're not sick. You're not blah blah blah. But it's a slow process. And when I look at my elders in my family, my great grandma Dell, my grandma Linda, who all have health issues. My grandmother has recurring breast cancer, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. My grandma Linda has hepatitis B, leg problems, diabetes. My mom has blood clotting issues, thyroid issues. I mean, the food has to be contributing to this. I mean, if not everything, you know, other life circumstances and chemtrails and all that stuff, but the food is really important. Like, it's a slow kill. They've taught us to consume, you know, toxins. So that's why I'm really learning this nutrient thing. And that's something that Israel's Redemption really pushes. And at first I was like, it can't, like, I didn't take it as seriously because I was so stuck in my ways, and I was thinking, how am I going to do this? But the thing I realized is slowly adding certain things in your diet, and just slowly adding certain things can help you. Like, I tried multiple times to just flip and transition my diet, and it failed. So I'm just adding certain nutritional things in my diet slowly, so that I can slowly, gradually take out the bad stuff. Basically,
Baby stuff.
It has a gradual process. So that's where I am now. It's
Yeah, I was gonna say it's baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's expensive to eat healthy. So
yeah.
y'all, Madison is like and this is from my point of view, of course. She's like the future of the group, and I say that because she's the youth, and I think to make something well-rounded, you have to have different age groups and different energies, people that think differently. That's just to round something off. So I am more than thankful. Madison is one of those channels I was looking at, and nobody else was doing videos on survival, what you would have in your survival backpack. And of course she was tuning my music at some point. And that's how we met. You know, so I'm more than thankful that we connected. I think the Most High has his hand in everything, and he brought us forward together for a purpose. So we're digging into that purpose together. So I'm gonna go on over to the Remnant, y'all. We fall out the boat, so later on we're gonna get loose with it, but right we gotta introduce everybody, right? So
Go through your screen.
huh?
You came into the truth.
No, it's your turn. Everybody always hears what, you know.
I just kind of, I saw blue lights, and I kind of can't focus real quick. My whole heart jumped out my chest.
You know what?
I mean, I'm legit. I got my L's and things, but baby, I did not do 12.
So she don't do the police. So would you like me to do mine and then come back to you?
Because I'm literally like, oh my God, here we go, going past 85. That didn't fall through.
You know what? Go ahead, huh? Okay.
Wait, y'all. Because y'all knew they put this road up extra fast, and I'm speeding my ass.
Or you know they don't stay there, so we don't nobody know about your roads, honey. Yeah.
Alright, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
almost home. That's why I'm like, can you go do your story first?
well, I'm gonna do mine and then we'll come back to you, okay? If I could just learn how to take your head is like big on the screen, so everybody's on the screen right now. Everybody's on screen. Miss Joyce, where did you go? We're back. Y'all, if it seemed like the video skipped, it's because I had to go back and move some stuff around, but we're back. Now, instead of going to the Remnant on how she came to the truth, I'm going to go ahead and tell how I came to the truth, and then we'll come back to her because she's driving. And we want her to get to her destination safely. So, how did I come into the truth? I think I started back researching when I got pregnant, of course. Just wanting to make healthy choices for my offspring. And lo and behold, me being an overachiever, I ended up digging on some stuff that I just did not sign up for. It was just when I started digging on vaccines alone, it was something that stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, we're putting this into our kids. And then I was, at that time I was going to school. I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor. So I was going to school to get my license to teach, and I was asking my students, because I'm a first-time mom, I was asking around, asking everybody, did they vaccinate? And when they say yeah, I was like, okay, so why did you vaccinate? And everybody's answer was because my mom did it, or ain't nothing wrong with my baby. And it's just like, that just wasn't good enough for me. So then I'm walking around looking at everybody sideways. Not that I had attained more knowledge than anybody, but at the same time, it's just like, so you ain't looking up nothing that they putting in a needle and putting in your child. Like, that is so irresponsible to me on like 5 different levels. And from that point, I went the legal way. I tell people I'm a paperwork person. So I drew up me an affidavit. So when I had my baby, it was specific instructions. We got it notarized. Don't take my baby. Don't do nothing. Nope. I'm finna put on my shoes. That's how I was. So like, I got my tennis shoes on right beside the bed. As soon as I had my baby, I put on a jogging suit and I had my tennis shoes ready. Because if they would have tried it, I want to be up and mobile. So from that point, I just started digging deeper. And then we were looking for a church too at the time. And every church we went to, they were like setting up props for Sunday. So we went to one church and they pulled out like a hammer. They pulled out a ladder. This is what they were setting up on stage for the pastor to come. And I was telling my husband, it's like, we at a play. Like, they playing with God. I'm old school. They didn't have props and crops that they put out on the stage. It's like them steering. You can't control the creator. You can't narrate where he's going to have you to go. And it's just like, when you put up props and stuff, you trying to keep the word on one subject. They don't want you to go outside the box. So I'm going to teach about how you should build your house up. And that's it. Don't nobody ask no questions, no nothing. And I grew up in a church where when you go to church, the pastor used to teach or speak about what the creator gave him to speak about. And I know it was all hijacked, but at the same time, I just felt like it's a certain respect that you give God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't play with God. So, that too, I can say, being a mom or about to be a mom and looking for a church and not liking what I was seeing, that made me go to YouTube. And the world of YouTube is a rabbit hole that you will fall in. And yes. All of us, what we all have in common is that we went, I don't know, Ms. Joyce, if you used to listen to GOCC, the Israel, the boot camp guys.
GOCC, yes.
Yeah.
That other one, I couldn't do them too much.
Right.
I can't think of their name.
The
GOCC was my thing. That's where I went.
The GOCC. The other people were the Israelite. What were they called, Madison? The boot camp.
HIU.
They had on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Israel United in Christ.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So we all went down and I'm not going to say go down, because we all went through levels of this information. And then that's how we end up running these trips, because when you're looking for something, you're not going to stop until you get what you're trying to, I guess, seek out. That's a good word for it. But we all, it took levels. We all ended up on Tanya's page. And we all agree that she has something that nobody else has, which is the language. You cannot say that an Arab, somebody who is mixed, or because in our language it tells you the Arab means mixed, and you can't expect them to teach you your language. You can't expect your oppressors to teach you your languages. You have to dig deep, and me personally, I would rather trust a sister that looks like me versus long list of people that have fallen angel in their blood, or what else, a rhesus monkey, the fish.
Fish, oh, zebra fish.
Yeah, fish DNA.
The imposters.
Oh, Fallon, you gonna be so mad. The screen froze your face. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? It froze. Come back.
Oh.
You're mad. It's so stupid. Can you hear me now?
I always can hear you. I never could not hear you.
Girl, I am cracking up. It froze your face and you were saying something.
It's all good. It wasn't that bad.
No, but it was funny.
Y'all see my thought steering wheel?
You know what?
It's my mom left my thought steering wheel.
I forgot. I gotta hide my camera. Hold on.
Anyway.
Right. Okay, so are you ready, Fallon?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were recording.
I am recording.
You're recording yourself saying you're ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Y'all are so funny. I never stop recording. Okay.
Okay.
That's how she do me. If you watch those videos, she catch me slipping, but don't stop the record button.
I did see you on one of her videos. Yes, I didn't get to finish all of it though. So
And it's funny.
Anyway, continue. You were saying.
No, it's your turn to answer the question, y'all. So, Fallon, same question. What brought...
How did I come into the truth?
Yeah.
I came into the truth after almost having a straight up meltdown from seeing our brothers get killed in the streets. The last one, it was last summer around the time of Terrence Crutcher and Keith Lamont Scott, the guy in North Carolina who got killed waiting for his son at the bus stop. I flipped it. I even deal, and that was a really low point in my life where I was like in the Facebook comments, all these comments, just looking like, oh my God, look what they're saying now. Oh my God, I can't believe they find this okay. Oh my God, how? And I'm very analytical, so I had tried every scenario in my head to try to make it make sense that somebody would say things the way that they said things, or feel the way that they felt after somebody's father got shot in the street, or husband, or boy, whatever. And I couldn't come up with a logical reason. And I needed answers. And just that fast, while I was all knee deep in horrific comments, I saw a post about this Hebrew Israelite stuff that talked about Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And I was like, yeah, we did that. We went through. Wait a minute. Wow. From there to I started looking into what that one meme was talking about, and I've been stuck ever since. So, similar to you guys, there's definitely levels to this because what I initially found out is nothing compared to what I know now, which will be nothing compared to what I'm going to find out. Right. And so I have had to learn the hard lesson, egg all in my face, Esau is the white man, and even, yeah.
Dude, we all been
loud and wrong. So, now real quick, for me to be like, you know what, there are no absolutes until you get to the finish line. Like, right. This whole process is going to be fluid. And I think, Madison, you mentioned Israel's redemption. And up until finding her, well, actually, I found Styles by Nina first. But outside of Styles by Nina and Israel's redemption, I didn't see any other females. So I was just all on the male thing. And, unfortunately, what I
now is that they don't really have the proper understanding, because I thought that I had to keep my head covered. Now it's just because I like it, but I thought I had to keep my head covered. I thought women were supposed to learn in silence, which I already knew the Most High was going to have to work with me on, because the way this thing's set up, but just digging and digging and digging, it made me want to seek him more. It made me want to know more. And I asked for wisdom. And next thing you know, I met y'all. And next thing you know, we started digging on language. And I prayed every time for him to gather, Kamiya Sharala. And next thing you know, I talk to y'all every week. It's like, and the stuff that we're learning, pineapple. But it's a lot easier. You have somebody to help you break it up a little bit and not try to take it all on your own. So that's another panic attack waiting to happen. So that's how I got started, and I'm stuck now. No turning back. Whole life is changed. I'm not the same person anymore. I saw a quote and it said, "Your new life is going to cost you your old one," and I'll be damned, it sure did. Just like that. And I'm so happy.
Right.
So happy, so at peace. Still a little anxious because I'm like, I now seeing what I see. I'm like, damn, man, we could tighten up. Black folk tighten, so-called black folk tighten up, because how old folks just be living in our last and evil days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, I wrote 3 questions. So, question number 2, starting back with Miss Joyce. And Miss Joyce, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Ms.Jay. Don't call her Miss Joyce.
Oh, no.
Yes, I forgot. I forgot. So, y'all don't be calling her Miss Joyce. That is my VIP privilege. It's Ms.Jay. And, because if I go back and we'll have to start over, y'all just out of respect, just call us by our... Right. Okay, so we ain't too bougie, y'all. We still got y'all. So, Ms.Jay, what are you personally learning in this process, or what have you learned thus far about this process?
Wow, it's much. When I say it's much, it is much. I mean, I even had to start reading some psychology books because I literally felt like I was losing my mind at some point. And it was one book that I read about Stockholm syndrome to help me to cope with what I was learning, and how the brain itself, once it takes in so much information and it's something new that you never seen before or recognized before, your brain is shut down because it's trying to, what's the word?
Process.
Or reboot, or you're trying to process and then you step away from it because you're going, whoa, I can't take this, I can't handle this. So then after you've come out of that state and the brain has taken over and you back in and you're ready to go, it's these levels of things that you go through, the emotions you go through of learning that your whole life, not that your life was a joke, but the stuff you've been taught in life was a joke. The things you believe, all your heart, your mind, your soul, all of it was a lie. And then to have to relearn language, Education Center, I have him to thank for that, to learn just how to break down the English language and words and find the right words to put in what you need to say so that you have that perfect language to speak, because we're speaking a spell. We're speaking this spell. We speak this spell. We're speaking stuff on us. We're speaking stuff on other people. We're speaking stuff, and we don't know we're doing it because we're speaking a spell. And then you got to learn how to redo it. And then, like Fallon said, to the men, we come in listening to the men because there were no women really, really out there just really doing it. And so then another one was 432 to drop, to get me to vibe and just run water. I just turn water on in my house so I can get to hear water, so I can get to that frequency where I needed to tune to the Most High, and then be able to say these words that I needed to say to the Most High to get here. And it's been extremely. So, and then not really having anybody to talk to.
Right.
Where I am.
Right.
Family could be something wrong with you, have totally lost your little bit of mind you had, and this is family, this is not strangers.
Right.
And then you by yourself, you walking by yourself, you talking by yourself, you're living, you're moving, breathing by yourself, because you now have come out of this box. And I call it a box because everybody's over there in it doing the same thing, moving the same way, looking the same way. And you're over here because you see a whole nother big picture and you see life differently now.
Right.
So when you're trying to really just absorb all the things that the Most High have, it's hard. It's hard. So you have to do it like we used to. I would say, like I used to feed my little baby, just chew a little bit and give it to him a little bit at a time. Chew a little bit, give it to the baby a little bit at a time. And that's how I've been really dealing with all this that I'm learning. And then to reach out, I reached out to Nina because I had went over there to Israel Redemption and started learning, listening to that language and getting into it and buying the book and just listening to it every day to hear how to pronounce or how to say or how to get in tune, So now all that singing I used to do in church, I try to do that same singing and hitting those same notes in that 432 frequency that we need to speak when we're talking to the Most High, when we're moving in that. I don't want to talk too much because I can, y'all. I really can. I can really go on and talk about the change, the difference. Even now, if I think a thing, it comes. It might not come as fast as I want it to come, but it don't take months. It may take a day or two, but that thing that I thought is there, because now I'm moving in a whole new, now I'm walking with no shoes on in the grass, or when I would never do that before. I go and stand next to a tree to see if I can hear it, stuff I would never do, but now I'm doing it because this is who we are and this is where we're supposed to be and growing. So we're supposed to be right where we are at this time, learning and hobbing on each other from each other.
Right. I agree with you, sis. Like, now I actually like to take advantage of my days, walk with my feet bare and stuff like that. I did a thing where I touch my tree when I go out to walk my dog. I touch it to try to just feel something from it, because those things are really living and they actually are alive, and we may not hear them or anything like that, but they're really living and stuff like that. So hope you're still there, Joyce. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Is anyone? Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, that was good though. I think Fallon left. She went off.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know when she goes in her parking. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the video.
What am I personally learning about this learning process? Once again, that it's a step-by-step process, and which is why I'm happy that I started so long ago, or that I took an interest and an initiative to actually try to learn so long ago, because it's been years and I still don't really know much. But it's I feel bad for the people who wait till last minute, because you missed out on the. Okay, it's like a journey. Okay, it's a journey. I don't know. I feel bad for people who wait for last minute, because it's you're missing out on the journey, the process of going through this and that, learning about this and that and the traps and stuff like that you can get caught up in. And so in addition of learning about just the fact that this process is very gradual, very step by step, and putting too much on your plate, for me personally, which is what I like to do, which I have to work on, it can cause obsession and problems with your mental health. If
Right.
You try to too much. It has to be gradual. Yeah. And
right.
Also learning that what my problem was back then, being firm and being this is correct. I was back there saying that you need Jesus Christ, and I was back there saying Esau is a white man. That's not correct. So I'm learning to stop being so assertive with certain things. Just stop being so rough with it,
Yeah.
Even though I'm at this point where I feel certain things, the truths and stuff. It's just this process has been so humbling from learning that I was wrong, that I'm just at the point where like I'm gonna realize I don't know much and stuff, and I'm just gonna stay humble and stuff like that, and I'll give my point of view and stuff, but I won't be firm and rough with it,
right?
And stuff like that.
Like I don't think with this flaw, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so me, I want to go then Fallon to answer the same question. Right. I don't know. I'm trying. Okay, the remnant will go after myself. What I'm personally learning, and this is why we vibe so well together, it's about the same thing. Like, when I was into church, I wanted everybody to be saved. And if people didn't want to get saved, I was sad, crying, and praying. You know? You were going to hell, and you were going to hell in a handbasket, and I was just repenting for your soul, I'm telling you. And then, you know, I was a Paul person. I could identify out the whole, but I was New Testament down, honey. I was Paul. Paul know what he's talking about. And now that we're learning our language, another thing that you learn about is duality. To every story, there's another side, a good and a bad, the balance and everything. So when I look back at it, like Maddie just said, you can't be rough with it, and you can't be sure either, because what you think you know, you don't know. And you have to be ever learning. You can't just think that you have reached a certain point in learning, and you have to be humble, because you have to stay open to be taught. You can't just say, you know, I'm not going to take anything in, but, you know, because then you set yourself up for the trap. And you can look at my videos, you can see the growth. That's why a lot of people, when they delete their stuff, I tell them, like, it's your growth. Even though you might were going hard on stuff, it's a growing process, and everybody is responsible for looking up this stuff themselves. You can't take what I say at face value, because I am still learning, and I'm ever learning, you know. So, same thing. All of us agree in that, like, it's levels to it. You have to stay humble and stay open for learning. And go ahead, Remnant.
What have I learned thus far? I really believe I had to think. I've been thinking, but I feel like I still need to think more, because there's so much. I think that throughout this process, from beginning to end, the Most High has revealed Him herself to me. And like, the more I study, the more I'm hungry for it, the clearer the picture becomes. I feel like the best way I can describe it is, I feel like we're in a video game, and we're in level 1, whatever, we're in the beginning levels, but just like all video games, you have to beat a certain level to get to the next one. And I can kind of pick up throughout my journey where level 1 ended, where level 2 ended, where, you know what I mean? And the levels can be infinite, you know, but humility is an absolute must. I also learned that the more you dig, the more you start to realize who has the Most High at the forefront of whatever they're doing, and who is out for self or selfish gain or ego or whatever the case may be. Right? That's how you know you get to the next level, because you are so engulfed. You're like, I'm learning, I'm taking notes, and I'm soaking it all in. And then at one point it turns into, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And it starts to become more prominent, and you start to see where the drift happens. Speaking of the drift, I also learned that you can't save everybody, and there's a reason why the Most High is only coming back for a remnant, and we fail to realize exactly what a remnant is. That's why I made my name that, so I can always be reminded that He's literally cherry picking each one of us out of many, cherry picking just the residue of His people. And I keep that in mind and try not to, it helped me calm down with trying to blow up on people like, you wrong about that, or why don't you see this way, or I don't know about all, getting all combative about it. I just have to remember it's the Most High that's going to do the picking. So,
yeah, and like just to add on to that, like, I mean, I don't know what's going on up in the heavens with the Most High and his princes and stuff like that, but like also a lot of us are not going to take the responsibility because this is a process. This is work. It's difficult, like transitioning your diet when you were raised off certain things. It's difficult. I don't know, just learning, learning to transition to self-sustainability, to making your own clothes, or whether it be growing food or just things like that. We
just get back to nature, your natural state of being.
Exactly.
But that goes to show how like people talk about people being asleep. Like we were comatose, we were damn near just dormant, like hibernating. Like we still in hibernation, and that also kind of weighs on me because I'm like, dang, to see just how far from grace we fell. It's like, yeah, and then to see people be out and about just so arrogantly defying the Most High and what He's commanded us to do. It's just like part of me be like, man, only He could change this, and another part of me is like, let me keep sharing because somebody gonna feel me.
That's how I am. Yeah. Even if it feels pointless sometimes, like they're not listening, you still just want to know. You want to know that at least you gave your all. Like at least you tried the best you can.
Right.
My friend gave me Ezekiel. Can I just go there real quick?
Hold on. One second. We're going to go to, I only have 3 questions, so we're going to answer 3 and then we can fall out the boat with you. Y'all, Fallon always lead us out the boat. And like she always leading, she the first person to get out.
I forgot. It's
like, can I just go?
Okay, so this is the 3rd question and the final question, and then we'll go out in the water with Fallon for a minute. We don't want to make it long-winded because sometimes y'all we keep going. So where do you see or think we are in this day and time together, or as far as together goes as a people?
Ooh, you got some good.
Wait, catch that last? Give me that last little piece one more time.
Okay, so Miss Joyce, where do you see, and y'all, this is the last question, where do you see or think we are in this day and time together, or as far as together goes, us as a people? What's our current condition as from your point of view?
From our point, we are still pretty much asleep. We're not together as a people go. Because it's still, even though a lot of us, they're on YouTube, they're sharing, they're on Facebook, they're sharing, but ego is in the way. I've learned that you have to really, if you really want to see things the way the Most High is doing things, you yourself have to really, the scriptures say, deny thyself. So in other words, deny your flesh, kill your flesh in order for you to be able to see and connect with other people, because even though we're all in the truth, we're learning. Somebody may not see it the way you see it. They may not hear it the way you hear it, and they may not feel it the way you feel it. They may be on a whole higher wavelength, and somebody else may be on a lower. So until we can, even if we're wrong, if we can just, our minds connect, like with the 4 of us, our minds connect. I think something, and I was thinking this, and we call and we text, we got it because our minds did this. But as a body of believers, maybe believers not the right word, as a body of people coming together the way the Most High want us to come together, we're not there yet.
Right.
We're not there. The men have bought into this European perception that they're over us. Mm-hmm. Even though the scripture said, but in our language, that is not exactly what it means. So when we learn language and what our ancestors wrote to us, we find out that is not true. Mm-hmm. It's not true. if I was taken from your side, that don't mean you're above me. You could beat me, mistreat me, talk to me any kind of way, do me any kind of way.
Right.
That's not gonna work.
Right.
We're not walking in that oneness. So maybe that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
We're not walking in that oneness. We're still millions of people, but our minds haven't become one.
Balance.
When me and my got married, when he was doing his thing, I'm doing my. We were still two people. But when our minds came together to say, oh, this is how this worked, this is how that worked, we were moving as one then, one breath, one movement. That's how we're going to have to get to as a people, where we're moving in that one, and we're moving in that plan instead of, you're going to have to come with us. I mean, and we're going to have to come with us. It's not going to be something that happens overnight, but we're going to get there together.
Right.
We've been broken and treaded down and walked on just like the men have.
Right.
We've been through things just like the men have. So we sit back and we see it. We see, okay, they're putting you guys in prison. We see that they're killing you on the street without cause. We see that this is what they did in slavery time, and we're praying. We might have to pray a language we don't understand, but still we have to go within ourselves and pray within that spirit that's within us. And that spirit within us give us utterance of what we're going to say to the Father. And when we say it to him, he feels it, because it's coming from here. It's not coming from here. It's coming from here.
Right.
And so when we get to that point as a body of people, and the Most High is going to do it. He's going to do it because he's going to want us together. And he's going to want us walking in that oneness, that one breath, that one movement, that one step that he ordained from the beginning. And it's going to go back to the way he ordained it from the beginning.
Right.
And that's
Right. Give me chills. Oh, you said that, Ms.Jay.
Right. And Madison, same question.
Well, I agree with Miss Joyce.
Right.
Like when we look at other groups of people, like whether it be the so-called, the Hamites or Kemet, or the even like Puerto Ricans, who aren't really a race, they're just a bunch of mixed people who lump themselves together. Like they do have this like thing where they're like all kind of on one accord, despite like the things that might go on within them, like within the race, everybody has problems, but like they're all in on the accord. And we're just so, we hate ourselves, like not us, but like a lot of our people, we just hate on ourselves.
Hold on. It's a noise happening.
Okay.
Hold on.
I hear that too.
What do I do? Hold on, y'all.
I just say like this system is broken us. Like I feel like the monetary system with the money is not good for our people. Like we are terrible with it. Not only do we not want to support our own people, but we'll con our own people with this green and this money because this is not how our people work.
Right.
Our people are supposed to trade and work in that aspect as a family and trade. With this whole system, it's just broken us, divided us. And I'm not saying it's just us, just the system because we do certain things, but we're just we don't even care about each other really. We're quick to accept other races over our own race. We're quick to imitate other races over our own race, and that's one of our pitfalls. Ms. Joyce mentioned that we're not one. I want to mention that we are still imitating the Caucasians. We're still imitating them. We still want to stay in this slumber and live like this, live dependent on them, and so long as we continue to do that, it's just we're gonna stay asleep. We're too busy just being dependent on the system, on the Caucasians, on everything, and we need to break free from that. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
That's all I gotta say, pretty much.
Right. And for me, it's like y'all saying. I was talking to Fallon earlier, and one of my main things, the Remnant. One of my main things is Yeah, I'm comfortable with these people. These are my sisters. So I have to remember to stop, But I was telling her there's no balance. And you're nothing without your brother or your sister. If we are the body, then the toe is not bigger than the pinky. Like if a healthy body, when you look at a healthy person, everything works, nothing is thrown off. High blood pressure, the blood pressure is balanced. Like Ms.Jay said, we become one movement. And it's just like, until we reach that, until we can value the connection to each other, because we're still all strangers. But when you value a person, because when y'all get together, y'all minds align, it's totally different. And can you imagine that in numbers? Like when you're crying out to the Most High in your native language, the volume of vibration that goes with that. Like, it's a spiritual warfare. And I think one of the biggest culprits is we are separated. We're not linked. So when they moving on us, it's gaps they can get through. You got people selling their own people out. You got people selling lies. You got people just on every level. And it's just like, and we're okay with that because of selfishness. Because that's what it is. It being, I don't know. But like everybody's saying, we need to align in our language. And I said this in the intro. I did our social media plug before. I didn't plug Maddie or Ms.Jay because I didn't know if y'all wanted y'all social media out there. At the end of the video, I can plug y'all, but I plugged ours already. I didn't want to do it without y'all permission. But in our language, the people, the balance is, hold on. Y'all know I can't even be great. I should have had the page open. I think is it Hema?
Hema.
Hema. I want to say it so y'all can feel it. It is Iha Miha Atahita Hema. And that is the male-female balance. And that is the Most High. I saw somebody comment in the comment section, and he was, the brother was saying, this is awesome, that the Most High is the framer and the shaper. And it's just like, unless we work it together, it ain't working. Like, straight up. We can't do it on the feminine side without the masculine, and the masculine cannot do it without the feminine. It's never going to work. It has to be balanced. The remnant, what? Same question.
The state of our people, I think, is, I understand what it means by a remnant of his people. And that's always my reality check. When I put things, I have in my head, I have this picture of the end, right? And in that picture of the end is the prophecy fulfilled. But everything in between that, when you look at where we are today and how we've drunk so much Kool-Aid to the point where the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments seem unthinkable and undoable, all 613, but then there's over 1 million in U.S. law books. You see what I'm saying? But we have to follow all of those with no problem, gladly. Right. I think we break Kool-Aid. I think that some of the other Bible prophecies about the time of Jacob's trouble and that day, that great day, and things like that, I see why it's going to be so not good, because we are so stubborn. Even in my own family,
You're froze. Hello.
Oh goodness, it be freezing.
Ain't gonna let go of one, but you have to keep, like I said, being that siren.
It froze. You gotta you Jacob's ladder.
I don't even know what I said. I ain't saying nothing about no Jacob's ladder.
You did.
Jacob's trouble.
Jacob's trouble. Right.
Jacob.
Like I swear it's gonna be. Huh?
Y'all know all this is in the recording. Y'all are funny. Okay, so Jacob's trouble, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, what's happening here?
Your phone keeps freezing.
Is it still frozen?
No.
Nope.
Y'all know my internet petty, okay? But no, I was just saying that even in the English understanding of what's read there or what's written there, it's just, even in that understanding, I can see why it's going to be so chaotic and just horrible, because that's like the ultimate ass whooping. You just refuse to do right. So now I got to tap that. You know what I mean? So I just, it gets at me sometimes, but again, me recognizing that it's only a remnant of his seed, okay, fine. I get it. The other thing that I would say is that I remember watching one of King Drop's earlier videos about frequency and stuff like that, and the Merkables and stuff, and I think that has some truth, because there's definitely an energy, a polarizing energy that's making us act like the same charge. You know what I mean? Like, even look at it now, the roles are being reversed. The women are getting more masculine, the men are getting more feminine. Like, all I see on my damn timeline is about a stupid romper.
Right.
You know, but while Terrence Crutch's killer just got off scot-free. You know what I mean? Like, so our people really need to wake the hell up, and I'm so happy that things are happening the way they're happening, because there's no other way that they would get it. And a lot of bad stuff has to happen, unfortunately, but I make it my point to not only spread this truth, but to also shed light on what literally keeps happening around the clock, but y'all so sleep, y'all ain't paying attention. Look, if you go on my Instagram right now, I got thing after thing after thing. I throw a petty post in there just to lighten the mood sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In itself, because I'm, a little self-centered, but I just, we gotta wake up. We have got to wake up and realize our power and realize whose we are.
Right.
And come together in unity so that we can be the true representation of the Most High, so we can go on and just, coast on into our heaven. We're
right.
tripping, y'all.
Well, not our heaven.
So, yeah.
Look, not our heaven, but we get it. Our paradise.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I will say this too. I've learned that if you are really honestly with everything in you seeking the Most High, He will give you things. He will reveal things to you that you just, sometimes you be like pineapples, but He will show you. And that's part of my prayers, that it come Yasharala, and it's happening. So for every gajillion of us that I see just out there, I have at least one or two that hit me on the inbox or text me or something like that, and I'm just like, oh, how you talking about when people get saved, you crunch.
Right.
You're doing it. Okay, I see it. Because that's with us only doing it a little bit. Imagine when we get into the fullness of walking in His truth, man. Like, can you just imagine?
Right.
It's gonna be good.
It gives me crumb.
It's like we're slowly cleansing ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Fallon gave me a picture. She does well with art. Let's just put her on Front Street. Yeah, she's doing our studies art, and we're excited about it. This sister is talented. She went to art school. So for the language,
that's definitely not what I went to school.
Well, not for that, but she is talented. When you look at what she drew for the language so that you can remember the power of the words, she gives us a visual that she's adding, because we're all taking notes, but yeah, we putting you out there. We waiting on our pictures. But she told me about a tree. She said, with our language, you would just think of a tree. And in my mind, when she was saying it, I was picturing a tree in my front yard. She said that the root will always stay the same. The only thing that's going to change is like the leaves. The leaves is the only thing that changes on a tree. And so in our language, what changes is the prefix and the suffix, but the root of the word is solid. And it's just like a tree, how it has its underground root system and it connects to other plants and trees. The same thing with the language. A lot of the words, if the root is the same, it means the same. So
Right.
that helped me. I'm a visual learner. Like, I need the picture. I need somebody to paint it for me. I'm not artsy. So that helped me a lot when I'm reading now. Like I said, I'm going back reading through the book, but us all together, it's just awesome. I'm so thankful that y'all reached out, that we all met. Fallon, you wanted to? She shared a screen.
Where you say my name full time.
Remnant, if you want to share a scripture.
I did. You were talking about being sirens, and I think you were asking about where we thought the state of our people were. What was the state of our people? And mine was pretty grim on the outlook, but it had a sprinkle of sunshine because people are low key hit me up about stuff that never asked about it before. So the seeds have been planted. So one of my friends, unrelated to this, by the way, gave me this scripture for me to help her study, and then you go through the language and stuff. And not saying I know the language or nothing, like I'm studying as well. But she gave me Ezekiel. What she gave me?
Oh, is that from that email you sent?
Yeah.
No, that was something different.
Okay.
Wait,
really?
For like any Oh, okay.
Say it again.
You do you get any like prophetic like kind of like message or something from these like verses or something? And I like
maybe that was it. That was it then.
Okay.
And then it says it's Ezekiel 3:17, and it says it's just KJV because I haven't been able to translate this, so I don't know what it says in language, but it says, "Son of man," at least I know that's us. "I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered. But his blood will I require at thine hand, your hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also thou hast delivered thy soul. And the hand of the Lord was there upon me, and he said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with thee. Okay, and then he goes on to talk about, what happened there. But just the whole thing about being a siren to our people, like me, I could just be in my feelings and in my ego, oh, we ain't gonna never wake up, we ain't gonna never get it, which is how I feel sometimes. But once I get out my emotions and out of my feelings, this just told me I still have to tell people, even if I don't think they're gonna
wake up.
Wake up. I still have to tell them. You still have to tell them. And you're going to be responsible for what you're telling these people. So if everybody watching the Remnant, I don't know. I'm studying just like you guys, and I'm very fluid in this truth. So what I understand today could very well be different later on tonight after I read more stuff. So, but at the end of the day, my end goal and my picture is still the same. Serve the Creator, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and gather our people, and let's rewrite this wrong.
Right.
So that's fine. Agreed. Yeah.
And do anybody else want? Go ahead, Ms.Jay.
What?
I was gonna say, do anybody else want to say something?
No. She summed that scripture up very well. She summed it up very, very well. Even though sometimes, because even with me, I would say since I've been in the truth, I have not been vocal. Only with you guys.
Right.
I've said stuff to family. I've spoken to friends, but to be, I even go to some churches that allow this type of speaking to be done and speak that, but to go to the church where my husband goes or go where his friends are, or no, I haven't been vocal like that, as though I was vocal with Jesus Christ. So, and I look at that and I see the difference, and I see the fallback, when it was Jesus, I talked to you all day, all night, all morning,
right.
And don't speak here, go. I was willing to do that, but since I've come into this truth and having to tell people, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, I say it, but not to the extent that I did with. So that's why I say I'm not as vocal as I used to be. I mean, I've gotten rid of a whole lot of my social media stuff where I can be putting up little scriptures and little sayings and little things that, I did. Now, I don't even do that. I just sort of kind of talk to you guys, go to prepare something in my head when I go over somewhere where I'm welcomed. It's like I'm getting comfortable with the welcome people and not comfortable with those who don't welcome me.
Right.
So, that kind of hit my heart, Fallon, because the ones that need to hear it, I'm not saying it to them. And those who are hearing it and getting it, those are the ones I'm saying it to. And it's the ones that
should be with you with others.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not exempt from that either. I have to catch myself because sometimes I feel like I post, y'all, if I post a selfie or if I post a petty meme, I see so many likes, and I can literally, the next 15 posts be about something on this truth or history or something like that, and people might like it, but then they don't discuss it, they don't, I get 11 comments about a petty meme. Let me post about a romper, it's gonna pop off. But I have to take my ego out of it, because I still sometimes I can use that hashtag. You gonna get this knowledge. You gonna get it. Don't get it. I don't have a lot to talk about other than this, and it might weed some people off or warn them away. Oh well, you can't say I ain't tell you.
Right.
And can I just quickly add, I used to post a lot of stuff on Facebook, but I recently haven't really posted anything because I don't know, for my opinion, what I'm going to do personally is I feel like I've personally said everything. I've touched on everything on there. And, people who have been added to me, they've seen pretty much all of it. I've talked about us being indigenous. We were referred to, Negroes was referred to as Indian. Indian was described as copper-colored people. I've talked about chemtrails. I've talked about drinking, I don't know, I can't think of everything. I just talked about, everything. I even, hinted to the fact that not everyone's human, around us and stuff like that. Just everything. And at this point, I'm I think I've said all I need to do on Facebook on that platform. But what I'm basically thinking about doing is I'm going to be leaving Facebook soon because I just think it's just ugly. Facebook is ugly to me. It's just, yeah, I feel like what I'm going to do is, like I said, I plan on returning to YouTube, hopefully, I hope the Most High has that planned for me. And then I was saying, on Facebook, I've said everything that I need to say on here. I'll be spending most of my time on my YouTube channel, if anyone wants to tune in, because that's going to be, awesome for the truth. And yeah, I feel like my thing is, I've gotten to the point where, I don't know, I'm not going to put myself on the line for everyone anymore. It's good to share stuff with people, but I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna let people come to me because they already know what I'm about. On Facebook, everyone knows what I'm about. So I'm getting to the point where I have certain things, and if you want to talk to me, you could talk to me, you know what I mean? Or if we're having a conversation, I might throw something in there. If they reciprocate it and they want to learn more, sure. But but if they don't comment on it, that's it. You know, like I'm kind of getting to the reserve kind of thing.
Right.
When I started out like full on, like just spreading stuff, I actually had a problem like with forcing stuff almost, and stuff like that. The only people I still like talk to like that is my family, because my family knows me. Like my mom, she don't want to hear it, but she knows me, and I don't really. I've been like easing on her too, but sometimes she be saying stuff and I be counteracting it. Like she be like talking about vaccinations and stuff, and I'm like, you know, yeah, like you know they haven't done a study, like they haven't done a legit study on a group of people with vaccinations and a group of people without vaccinations to see the effectiveness of vaccinations. They haven't done a proper study on it, and yet you're trusting my little infant sister to get injected with that. You know, just little things like that. I be going ham, you know, but I'm starting to get to the point with my mom, like I really need to stop diverting my energies to that, because it's like I'm talking to a brick wall, like dead serious. Like seriously, too much of my energy is too much being exerted to nothing. She can't even, I feel like she can't even comprehend what I'm saying. Maybe, you know, self-destruct her right at this point. Like it's just, she just can't accept it right now. Maybe, like, I don't know. But that's where I am now. Like I'm getting to the point. My brother was always like that. Yeah. He was always kind of the laid back kind of thing. And he talks to people, but he's not going to just put himself out there. Yeah. And, you know, I've already done that a lot. Pretty much anyone knows what I'm about. And even when I have a conversation on the street, I somehow throw a bit of the truth in there. Right. And, you know, if it's reciprocating, you want to learn more, you know, we'll talk about it. But after I realize, you know, you're not really reciprocating and stuff, that's fine. I'm just going to be reserved. You may not even know. Because
it eventually drains your energy. It said that the Most High, those who have ears will hear, and those that have eyes will see. So it's very humbling, because when you put all that energy out there, you end up drained and like not even wanting to move forward. Sometimes it's like, this enough, you know.
That mental health comes in. You be like, but maybe am I the one sounding crazy? Because I ain't biting right now. Like, what is this?
Right.
And I'm young too. Like, I'm not that young. I'm like turning 21, but like being a little on the younger side, that also makes you, because I don't have much life experience. I went to college and stuff, but I've like, you know how you have like that life experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know, like that maturity in that kind of aspect. Because back in the day, my mom, she just been through so much with the life and stuff like that. But me, I grew up like with the computers, like. With the computers being popular and stuff, like I went from playing outside to like 8th grade. Seventh grade-ish, I was on the computer. So I was that kind of kid. That was my generation. And a lot of my knowledge and experience is actually from online. Yeah. Like I took full advantage of the internet, but my mom has the hands-on experience with interactions with people, experiences and stuff like that. So that also makes me look less credible when I'm explaining stuff to her. Yeah. And it might make me look less credible when I'm explaining stuff to other people, and it might make me feel a little crazy too, because I know I don't know a lot of worldly stuff. You know what I mean? Right. So that's also crazy. So I'm happy I have you guys to, you know, help me, because you guys understand, like, I have to feel crazy, you know what I mean? When I'm talking about vaccinations, when I'm talking about, you know, the chemtrails and stuff, it sounds crazy to the regular person, but it really is true. There is
you can literally type it into Google. Like we can find information. They build all kind of homemade bombs. There's a YouTube video on how to build your own gun, how to build your own house step by step. But you can't type in Google chemtrails, and it's
a heart.
Right.
It's been a curse, because I just don't understand. And my approach is I'm gonna say, like, if it's historical, like for example, historical facts, I'm going to say it so matter of factly that you have to literally like, what? She lying? Let me go see.
Right.
You know, like that's what in my head, I feel like that's how it happens. Maybe not, but that's how I feel like it happens. And then they be like, well, if she's telling the truth about that, then what else is she telling the truth about?
Right.
Feel free to go back through all the posts.
Right.
See the growth, but yeah.
I can give you an instance. I have some nephews and nieces, and, you know, I was telling them about us being, you know, Hebrew or Israelites, and I was also telling them about DNA, the whole DNA thing, and what's going on with the DNA and the Get Out movie, and, you know, auntie, there you go with that again, gone, you know, brushing me off. So then here this young guy come out, this rapper,
Kendrick Lamar.
That's him, Kendrick Lamar, and they all hype and they all on it, and then they come calling me, and I got mad, and I'm going, really? I gave y'all, I had no agenda when I said this to you. This guy probably has an agenda. What is it? You know, I gave this to you from my heart, you know, to help you, to do whatever you needed to do, and now here he comes saying this, and y'all all hype, y'all all for it. What was the difference?
Right.
That's sad.
I didn't put it to, or I didn't put it to, you know, that I need to. I'm not a great rapper, so I'm not
right.
gonna rap it to you. You know, I gave you this information,
right?
And I'm still giving it to you. It's still blowing me off. So what they gonna have to do next? Put this heart machine in a rap song so y'all get it?
Right.
It's sad.
Well, Ms.Jay, I got a verse for you just for that. I went all the way down to verse 27 or 26, and it says, "And I will make thy tongue." This is Ezekiel 3:26. "And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover. For they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear. For they are a rebellious house." That ain't our people. They're a rebellious houses.
Right.
This house.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But imagine if you hadn't said something to them, and then they heard Kendrick Lamar, would have been like, "What are you talking about? That what?"
Right.
They don't even make Kendrick Lamar crazy. You know,
I was gonna say when you dropped your seed, you planted the seed and it came back. Somebody watered it. So that's how you gotta look at it. Like somebody plant the seed, somebody water it. Somebody's gonna have to harvest it, and it's up to the person.
Increase.
Right.
Yeah.
So y'all, we're gonna cut this on short.
I love y'all and stuff.
You know what? Well, thank you.
You're right together.
I was just saying it got deep real quick.
Oh yeah.
We're an hour and 12 minutes in. So do y'all ladies want me to point your YouTube channel?
Sure.
Okay.
Madison D or Smiley Face. Hopefully I'll be back soon by the grace of the Most High.
I was gonna say, can you clear that up? Because I always thought of it as Madison D before I started stalking everybody. Like, is it Madison or is it Madison D or is it?
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be a smiley face, but it's all good.
Well, I knew it was a smiley face because it has the mouth open, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm showing your channel. Y'all go over and subscribe, like, and share when she comes back. Y'all know her. Y'all know her work. She's gonna put in the work, and if the Most High brings her back to sharing, of course, y'all can just meet her here. And Ms.Jay, do you want me to share your channel?
I don't have a channel.
You do, don't you?
No.
I'm technically
I've never done a video before. Like, I've watched, but I've never done one.
Well,
Okay.
today's your first video.
My first
Oh my God.
ever. I watched, not done.
Well, welcome.
But that wasn't hard, Ms.Jay.
She said, was it hard?
You know what? No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Just talking.
I just have to take that same thing that I have for Jesus and have it for the Most High.
Right.
That there thing.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I hate this word, but it's a true word, fear.
Right.
You know, the fear that's coming in. And that's what that is. So I have to get over the fear that I'm toting with opening up, really just opening up and letting the Most High put out what I'm taking in.
Right.
I write it down.
Right.
I write it down, but I haven't vocally, and especially since we've been in this language, y'all won't believe. So when we get off by ourselves, y'all not gonna believe stuff up to do. Y'all can't wait, but
And we ready. Y'all, she blow our mind.
I can't wait. But I've been writing it down, so maybe I'll get over that and just start, reading something or just saying a little saying.
I was gonna say, even
I learned
if
this today, you guys, I don't have to be perfect, but I do have to be authentic.
right.
Hey, John, no. Hey.
Right. I was gonna say, and even if it's that book that sounded interesting, what you said you're reading about cognitive dissonance. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Or the Stockholm syndrome? Yeah, even if it's something like that, so we know, because they do play mind games, that we've been mentally enslaved as well.
Yes. We don't have the chains on our bodies, but we got them on our minds.
Right.
Right.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming to the meeting. It's the meeting of the minds.
Excellent. Thank you.
It only grows from here. Teamwork makes the dream work, guys.
Yeah.
I really did pour my heart out. It was legit.
And y'all, I hope y'all enjoy. Y'all impress me every time. Every time we get together. Thank you, y'all. This is my new committee. We're forming a committee. So,